BNboxing news. What's going on, fight fans? There's a lot of news, a lot of things going on. This is actually the CharloCota week of boxing, but there's a lot of news coming out that Errol Spence and Showtime Porter, they have worked out their agreements for later on this year in September. That's a good thing. That's a great thing, actually. Can't wait for that. Been waiting for that fight to be made. You know, they're basically, stablemates, PBC. So it shouldn't be hard. They're on the same side of the field. It shouldn't be hard to be made, but yet it took some time. But I understand that these fighters want to get paid what they want to get paid. So it looks like we have a great fight coming as far as for the IBF and WBC titles, welterweight titles. That's going to be a good one. I mean, who do you choose? Who you think is going to win that particular fight? You know, that's going to be one that, one for the books for all of us to watch. You know, but so far this year, I have to admit, it's been very, very, very great. And before I get to the main topic, the Charlo versus Cota, I see something else, man. Gervonta Tank Davis seems like he's ready for Tevin Farmer. He pretty much tweeted out after their next fight, I guess they want to go to the drawing board, go to the table, and him possibly facing Tevin Farmer. That's a fight that's long overdue. I'm glad that they're getting ready to start discussing it and planning that particular fight. That's going to be a great one. Can't wait for that one. You know, can't wait. Honestly. Something else in boxing news. Of course, there's lots of talks right now about Terrence Crawford, him and the I'm reading something. Okay. Who's gonna be Terrence Crawford's next fight? Definitely wants to be one that's challenging, one that can basically let it, he needs a statement fight. I mean, he has to have a statement fight. He has to have a statement fight. You know. He has to have a statement fight. You know. We don't have time to be seeing these fighters fight these lesser oppositions. And next weekend, it'll be JermelCharlo versus Brandon Adams. That's gonna be a nice fight also. So there's plenty of boxing coming up within the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, if you want to say that. And I can't wait to see him. Some of them are, we're gonna have to get these apps, guys. People gonna have to invest in the Zone app, ESPN Plus app. Or pay for these pay-per-views. It's just those investments that we're gonna have to make as boxing fans, if you're a true boxing fan anyway. So that's just some things that you may have to look at. But outside of that, we have to also, Adam Konaki got a fight coming up. That's gonna be a good one. I want to see how he handles this particular fight. Also in other news, Anthony Joshua finally broke his silence, and he said that Tyson Fury has done what he was supposed to do, and kind of said that, you know what, maybe he should have been fighting lesser oppositions, and if he would have been fighting lesser opposition, he would still had his belt. But personally, they tried to fight a lesser opposition, or they thought Andy Ruiz was a lesser opposition. It just didn't work out for him. It didn't work out for him. So that's just what goes with it. The same thing happened many years ago to Iron Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas. He thought Buster Douglas was a lesser opposition, and we all know the turnout of that one. So these boxers, when you're going out there and you fighting, regardless of whom it is, you got to put it all on the line. You got to put it all on the line. We just can't continue to we just can't continue to just watch these fighters fight each other and just not let their hands go. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of fighters with the Adrian Broner syndrome, basically just fighting and not letting their hands go, not putting it on the line, like the Danny Jacobs and the Canelo fight. And that was a big fight. Everything should have been put on the line. They should have been rumbling to the death. Same thing, like I said, the Adrian Broner and Pacquiao. When that happened, he should have put it on the line. Just this weekend, Andrew Tabiti, when he fought Dartica, he was defeated. He was stopped by Dartica, but it didn't look like he was letting his hands go enough. The few times he let his hands go, he had great response. So it's just one of those things where these fighters have to let their hands go. They have to put it all on the line. Either way it go. If you don't put it all on the line, you're gonna lose. If you do put it on the line, you have a better chance of winning. So it's just one of those things that has to happen. Okay. So that's just we just gotta just start, supporting our fighters, and hopefully our fighters start getting better contention fights so we can enjoy it. So let me ask you guys. The main subject today is fight week, right? Fight week. We all know there is a fight coming this Sunday. JermelCharlo versus. Do anyone know who he's fighting this weekend? JorgeCota. Okay. JorgeCota basically made a statement recently, and he said, "Hey, Harrison truly beat JermelCharlo. If JermelCharlo stay in the pocket and fight me straight up, I'm gonna knock him out." JermelCharlo wants to make a statement. This is gonna be a statement fight. I think we're gonna actually really see the line in him. He's gonna actually go out there and he's gonna box. He's gonna put it all on the line to show us, hey, y'all must have forgot. I think he's gonna go out there. He's gonna handle his business. And we're going to see a side of him that we hadn't seen in a long time, which is great. I want to see him lay it all out on the line. That's exactly what we're asking for anyway. We want to see these fighters put it all on the line, handle their business, and show us what they're made of. And that'll be a good thing. So this fight is supposed to be in Las Vegas, and I think it's, like I said, I think it's going to be a good fight. I like to always ask my listeners, who do you think is going to win this particular fight? And the reason why I ask you guys that on air all the time is because I want you to make your statements. And when you do something on live, basically your statement's recorded. So after the fight or whenever you try to change your mind or you try to ride a different bandwagon, hey, man, you're recorded. We got you on here. Basically, now what happened is how JermelCharlo ended up fighting Cota is that his rematch with Harrison has to be postponed. Harrison's claiming an injury during training camp, and now JorgeCota has replaced Harrison. So, with that being said, Jermel still has to go out there on Sunday. He has to show what he's made out of, and he has to put it all on the line. He has to go out there and show everyone how much of a good boxer he is. And he can box under pressure. He has more precise shots, and just show everything. Like I said, put it all out there. And I think he will do that. I think he's going to go out there because he has a lot. I mean, he wants to show everybody, look, man, I didn't lose. You guys think I lost the last fight. I didn't lose, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove to you that I didn't lose my last fight. And that'll be a great thing. I think that's what he has to do in order for, to gain that respect back that some people has lost for him. So that's just what has to happen, regardless. So, outside of that, give you a little something on JorgeCota. JorgeCota, also known as El Demino, El Demonio, all right? A boxer. So, he's not one of them little sharp Mexicans now. He's gonna be bringing that heat. So I'm hoping that Charlo's ready. Definitely, he's an orthodox stance. This particular fighter has won 28 fights, 25 of them by knockout, and he lost only 3 fights. So he has a good boxing record, and according to the interview that I saw of him, he said he's coming to fight. So with that being said, there will be a rumble on Sunday. You just need both fighters to show up. And when it comes to JermelCharlo, they all, he's a 29-year-old boxer, same stance, orthodox, 31 fights, 15 of them by KO with 1 loss. I don't even feel good saying 1 loss because I really don't think that he lost his last fight, but it's documented that he lost, so we have to go by it and say that he lost. And like I said, his last fight was last December versus Tony Harrison. So he hasn't fought in 6 months, and definitely he has a lot to prove. So who do you think is going to win this particular fight? Who do you guys have in your corner? That's my main objective. Because you got 2 orthodox fighters going at it head to head. Both of them think they're power hitters. They have power. They both, JorgeCota basically said, "Hey man, you stand in the center of the ring with me like you did Harrison. I'm gonna show you something." So with that being said, I want to see. I want to see what he's gonna do. Can I think we all know that Jermel has a chin. Jermel have a chin, so that's not something that we question. We don't question his chin. We hadn't questioned his chin, so we just want to see him go out there and handle his business. He has to basically apply the pressure to Cota. So once the fight starts, he wants to start applying the pressure to Cota and just break him down. Break him down. Try to just apply pressure from the beginning of the fight to the end of the fight, all the way until you stop him. And I think it's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to have to use his legs. as usual, and just apply the pressure, man. Hit him with some of them devious body shots and just break him down. You know, of course, Cota's going to try to come and apply pressure also. That's exactly why we think this is going to be a dogfight. When you got two fighters coming in there, and they're both talking about, hey, you know, we gonna rumble and we gonna do this, and I want to meet you to sit in the ring, and I want you to do what you did to this person, and I want you to stand here or be there. I mean, hey, sound like a dogfight to me. Sound like they're gonna go at it. So that's gonna be a great thing. I can't wait. I can't wait personally. I wanna see it.
What's going on?
What's going on, brother?
Where you at? I hear you. What you talking about?
Who we have here on the line?
What'd you say?
Hello?
Yeah, what you talking about?
Now, basically, I was talking about Jermel and Cota. I read a statement that Cota said, and basically he was saying that he wanted Jermel to fight him like he fought Harrison. First of all, he said Harrison beat Jermel, and he was saying that he wants Jermel to stand in the middle and fight me like he fought Harrison.
Yeah. I mean,
this guy thinks he has more power, and he's talking about knocking out Jermel. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw like the face-to-face thing, the PBC face-to-face thing. But
I can't hear you.
Oh, I don't. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, let me see. Can I turn my volume up? Maybe it's my volume. Oh, yeah, it's my volume. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, I saw the face-to-face on the PBC thing, and it seemed like Jermel was, you know, he seemed a little bit more intense and focused. Obviously, he feels like, you know, he has more to prove, with people questioning. Even though, you know, some people thought, or a lot of people thought, that Jermel won, you know, there was those that thought Harrison won too. So I think he feels like he got something to prove, you know, and I think he was happy that, I mean, obviously he was disappointed that it wasn't Harrison because he wanted his belt, but it seemed like he had a healthy respect for Cota stepping up to fight. You know, now I just think Cota's at the wrong place at the wrong time and just going to catch the brunt of JermelCharlo's frustration, you know.
And that's basically what I was saying. I was saying pretty much the same thing you just said. Jermel feel like he has a lot to prove, so he's gonna lay it all out on the line. And like you said, the opposition in front of him is Cota, so Cota's gonna feel the wrath. You know, Jermel has to make a statement. Jermel has to go out there and make a statement that I hadn't gone anywhere. Y'all think I lost? I didn't lose. Look at me now. Look what I just done to my last opponent, which is going to be the opponent on Sunday.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
And I was going to say, I mean, while he's obviously frustrated with Harrison and a lot of the back and forth between those two has obviously been escalated, you know, prior to the first fight and between now and the supposed rematch that was supposed to happen. But when you look at the decision, you know, at the end of the day, Harrison fought. It wasn't his fault that the judges, or it was his fault, depending on how you look at it. Obviously, the thought he did enough to win. You know, so what I'm saying with that is, you know, Harrison went out there and fought. You know, now obviously, I think when you think about the middleweight, the junior middleweight division, and where does that leave us? I don't think we're any closer to to a unified champion yet. If anything, it pushed it back at least 2020. You know, because if you would have had Harrison Well, we were looking at a unified champion potentially at 154 early 2020. I think now it's pushed back to the second half of 2020 because now you got to still wait for Harrison Charlo 2. You might have Williams Hurd 2 the second half of this year potentially, and then the winners of those two could meet up maybe second quarter of 2020.
So you think the Harrison fight versus Charlo won't happen to win?
I think that if it happens late this year. But that fight could, depending on Harrison and the injury and how much recovery or rehab. I thought I saw a post that said he wanted to be back before the year's over. But then being off that long, is he going to want a tune-up fight with Charlo? I mean, before Charlo. So it's just a lot of things that's going to, delay us seeing, or getting a unified champion at 154. Or further unifying the division. Because, I mean, the only unified champion right now is Julian Williams at 154.
I just hope that
the IBF and the WBO or WBA, excuse me.
Yeah, I just hope that he doesn't lose that belt prior to fighting Charlo. I mean, we've been seeing the hands of belts lately a lot.
Yeah, but if you look at it, Tony Harrison, he's not a slouch. He's definitely not a slouch. And you could argue that he was actually beating or definitely in a competitive fight with Hurd before Hurd just kind of broke him down, walking through those punches. So Tony been around, long enough to know what he needs to do. And, he obviously did enough in the judges' eyes against Jermel.
Yeah, but, they got that dog out there walking out there, man. This guy they call J-Rock. So, I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
I mean, J-Rock was always a talented fighter. And he was spot on when he said, people, fans, boxing critics, writers, whoever, you're so quick that fighters, when they take a loss, we're so quick to write them off. And it was a pretty vicious knockdown or knockout, that JermelCharlo did against him. But up until that point, and it was still early in the fight, he was boxing, fairly good against Jamal. But he got caught. But that didn't mean that he wasn't a skillful fighter. He came back. He had a few more matches before the Hurd fight. Went back, worked on some things. And he had him and his trainer and his team had the perfect matchup for Jarrett Hurd,
Yeah, I mean that I watched that fight, man. I mean, I know we both watched it. I mean, he had the sauce, man. And me personally, this is my opinion, I don't think there's much that Hurd could do to come back and beat J-Rock. I don't think that he'll be able to fight J-Rock, beat J-Rock. I don't recommend, let's put it this way, I don't recommend a rematch. Not anytime this year, not anytime soon.
Yeah, I want to say that I saw something, that Hurd might have switched up his trainer or his team.
I heard that, man. I heard that.
So
that was kind of.
You know that there's always a dealing out process when it's a new trainer and new fighter, a new trainer combination. That you always got to get through that first match. Trying to work through the new things that have been implemented or whatnot.
But I think he did that because of what his trainer said. See, his trainer had made a comment that we didn't think that. In other words, the trainer said that he didn't think that Hurd was ready for J-Rock, and they tried to stop him from fighting J-Rock, but that's what Hurd wanted. So I think it was a lot of that petty stuff. Yeah. So I think his trainer made some comments, and I think that probably pissed him off more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but changing the trainer, man.
Yeah.
Man.
So you got Jermel fighting this weekend. You got JermelCharlo fighting the following weekend against Brandon Adams, who won the Contender Series. You know, what do you think about that matchup? Have you had a chance to check out Brandon Adams?
Yeah, I looked at a little stuff about Brandon Adams, man. I mean, you know how I feel about the big Charlo. We call JermelCharlo the big Charlo. I just think that he's a dog, man. And I don't know if Brandon Adams could actually handle that particular force in front of him, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot coming his way. I mean, it's a big bite to chew. Can he handle the big Charlo?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, let's just say, you know, Jamal wins his fight next weekend. What's next for him? What are his options? Because all the belts, all the middleweight belts are on the zone. With Canelo, Golden Boy, and Boo Boo. Boo Boo fight next weekend as well. He defending his belt.
Yeah, I mean, he's I just think that nobody wants to fight Jamal, man. I mean, it's sick. It's sickening, bro. Nobody wants to fight Jamal.
Well,
it's almost like they're trying to freeze him out, man.
I thought I saw something kind of either leading up to or after the Triple G fight where, you know, if Triple G can't get Canelo, that he might be interested in fighting some of these other fighters. You know, and
other fighters, but he ain't talking about.
I want to say he mentioned Jamal or alluded to JermelCharlo. You know, so I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to the politics of boxing playing itself out. You know, for JermelCharlo to fight a top contender, top middleweight champion or top fighter, I don't know if there's any other way outside of him fighting on some, if it's just on a white trial basis or whatever the case may be. Obviously, I do think that if Canelo wanted to fight JermelCharlo and call JermelCharlo out, that fight would happen, and obviously it would be on the zone. If Canelo wanted to fight him. So
yeah,
you guys, because at the end of the day, they're paying Canelo a lot of money, and it's only so many fights or tune-up fights or mismatches that they're gonna allow him to be in. Now he may go up to 168 and fight for a title, maybe against Caleb Smith, you know, who has called out Canelo. But if Canelo doesn't face Boo Boo in September, if Boo Boo wins his fight and defends his title, you know, I know Canelo wants to unify, but, you know, who is he going to fight? There's only a few people left at middleweight. Still with. You got the WBC Mendo and JermelCharlo. You got I think Boo Boo had the WBO belt, middleweight belt. You know, that he's defending.
You don't want to see Boo Boo either, though, bro. That's just the problem. You don't want to see Boo Boo. Or third
fight with Triple G.
He don't want to fight Triple G again. I mean, they tired of that. I mean, that you got to think about that Triple G fight, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. That Triple G fight, him and Triple G, my opinion, won the first one, and the second one clearly Canelo won. But that type of fight, they want to call it Mexican style when they just stand in the middle and beat each other up. Man, that take some of your career away from you right there, man.
Yeah.
They sit there and they just, bruh, I'm telling you, you just sit back and watch the highlight, man, or just watch the fight again. Them dudes really pound each other, bruh. Like they both got chins. Some of the punches some of their knockout punches that they know and knock people out with, the other opponent was taking it. Triple G was taking his, and he was taking Triple G's best punches.
Well, Canelo switched up the plan from fight 1 to fight 2, because you can remember in fight 1, he was moving a little bit more, staying on the outside, trying to outbox Triple G from the outside. In the second one, you saw Canelo either stay in the pocket, hold his ground, or at times even come forward and made Triple G fight off the back foot. So it was a style of two different fights. And even though, some hardcore boxing fans or, Team Canelo or whoever may not be interested in a third fight, it's still probably one of the more high-profile fights that'll still generate, some decent money for everybody involved. So the economics still kind of call for that fight.
It does. But again, some of these fighters are saying, why should I fight someone like Canelo saying, why should I fight somebody like Triple G when I can make the same amount of money to fight somebody like, Boo Boo the Clown?
Yeah, well, yeah. And he said for Triple G to go out and get a belt first.
And that's just the point. Triple G would have to fight one of them dogs, and he ain't trying to do that. We both know that he's not trying to do that. Triple G is not trying to go out there and fight one of them dogs that has the belt.
When you sign Canelo to $365 million, and you give Triple G a 3-fight deal with $100 million or so reportedly, contract or whatever, how are you going to generate that if it's not against a big name fighter? If it's not against each other, or if it's not against a big name fighter, somebody's taking a loss financially.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, but back to this the fight for next week, dude. Like you were saying, man, this dude, Brandon Adams, bro. Do you think he's ready for? Do you think he's ready for a fight like Jamal?
I mean, obviously Jamal is favored. He's a taller fighter, longer reach, and maybe even be more skilled. But you just never know. This is why you got to have these fights. JermelCharlo is not wrong to be favored, and maybe even heavily favored. But as we've seen, especially as of recent, styles make fights. Andrew Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, and I'm not saying this is the type of matchup. I'm just saying we just can't discount what Brandon Adams is going to bring that night.
So you think something like the Contender didn't prepare him, having to go through that rigorous?
I mean, it was definitely competition in the division, but and I guess we'll find out how well that prepared him, or how well that experience prepared him. Obviously, he was able to work closely with Andre Ward during that show, Freddie Roach, and got a lot of good work in against a number of prospects and contenders in the middleweight, or those that were participating on the show. So I would never just discount him, but Charlo is favored, and for good reason, just based on what we've seen and what we know about JermelCharlo.
And the thing about it too, and this is something, I mean, not going off the topic a little bit. Brandon Adams, and we all know, right? Brandon Adams, is he used to those lights? Is he used to being on that stage? Because that's the thing about it, man. When you put these fighters on these stages with these top contenders like a Charlo, I mean, there are gonna be some people out there to see that particular fight. Do you think he's prepared for that particular stage of fighting that type of fighter? Because a lot of times when you put these fighters, in that particular spotlight, that on fight night that can really affect them. Because, you know, some are saying that's exactly what happened to Tabiti this past weekend. They said that Tabiti wasn't ready for that stage. You know, there's a lot of speculation that he wasn't ready for that stage, even though that veteran.
I mean, and all that is after the fact, right? Because we know how the fight played out. If Tabiti would have won, it would have been, you know, one or two ways. And obviously, a lot of it has to do with his alignment with Mayweather Promotions. If he would have swept the dude, then they would have been, the narrative would have been he still ain't fighting nobody. You know, and this
They were saying that already. They was already saying that.
Yeah, you know, like who is the guy he fighting? Now all of a sudden he gets knocked out. Now he wasn't ready for the opportunity. At the end of the day, you don't know what anybody's prepared for until you put them in the ring and in the situation, you know? But to come back after the fact, yeah, it's easy to say, oh, he wasn't ready for it. But that tournament, he won his first matchup. You know, if he would have won this one, he would have been in the finals. And you could have made an argument that whoever, obviously, this is another cruiserweight tournament, you know, so obviously, Usyk was the guy at cruiserweight. So can you really put the winner of this tournament in the pound for pound, you know, because Usyk has vacated all the belts? You know, I think it would be a little bit tougher to have that argument, but it's still quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, what I want to know is, and this change the topic. Obviously, we heard the rumblings of Earl Spence and Sean Porter being, you know, signed, and it looks like it's going to be on pay-per-view, you know, later this fall. Where does that leave Terrence Crawford in all of this? And, like, who is potential matchups? You know, are we still looking at Kell Brook for Crawford?
Kell Brook went on social media today saying, I don't know where all these rumors are coming from that I retired. I went to New York to call out Terrence Crawford. I won the Terrence Crawford fight. So, yes, Kell Brook. I think Kell Brook is definitely a great potential matchup for Terrence Crawford. Kell Brook is not a pushover, man. I don't know who think he is, but Kell Brook ain't no punk, dude.
You know, and this isn't to take away from Spence's accomplishment and going over to Brook's hometown and beating him and stopping him in the 11th round. But you do know Kell Brook has been struggling to make 147.
He's been what?
He's been struggling to make 147 for a long time now.
Oh yeah. But he's asking for a 147 fight, though.
Obviously, it would have to be at 147 if he fights Crawford. But what I'm saying is, Kell Brook is going to put his body through a lot just to make weight.
Yeah, so, but Kell Brook is not ready for none of the 154 pounders, though. It's
no, not any other champions. I don't think so.
Yeah, he's not ready for any of those, bro. So it's almost like he has to fight at 140, 147. So that's a decision you have to make as a fighter.
Get his payday, and Crawford wipe him out, and he get his payday and ride off in the sun.
Well, I think that's what he's trying to do. Personally, that's why I think the whole retirement thing leaked out. You know, somebody opened their mouth. You know, I think he's trying to go out there and
get the last payday.
Yeah, he's trying to get his last payday, and then he's gonna just.
He's not gonna fight Amir Khan. For some reason, that fight is not gonna happen.
No, Amir Khan has a fight. Amir Khan already has a fight coming.
Right.
He's already scheduled to fight.
After that.
Yeah, I don't care to see Amir Khan fight. Amir Khan quit on his last fight, man. I mean, there's no room for quitting in boxing. It's like no respect there. Yeah. You know, there's no respect there. He quit.
What you think about Regis calling out Conor McGregor?
Yeah, I just seen that a little while ago, man. He said that he's being trained by boy Lafayette. I don't know, man. Regis, it's my boy, man. He trying to get that money, I guess. But Regis gonna beat the shit out of Conor McGregor, though.
I think so.
You know, I know so.
But I know. I think he beats him in the cage too.
Oh, he's talking about the cage?
He said it could be a 2-fight deal. One in the boxing ring, one in the cage.
Oh, no. Connor's gonna murder him in a cage, bro.
No, bro. Regis is a different type of fighter, man. Regis practices that stuff. MMA too.
Yeah, but Connor, that's his shit, bro. I'm not gonna even take nothing from him. Like I said, I'm a Regis fan, like off top. Regis, if you ask me who is my number one boxer, I'm riding with the home team. I'm riding with New Orleans, the Ruger Root.
Right.
My
The
number
home
one
team.
boxer.
I'm down here in New Orleans. I'm riding with the home team. Your home team where you at is Maurice Hooker.
Errol Spence, bro. If you want to go there. Yeah. But I get down with Hooker and Spence. But Spence, like I said, my number one fighter, out of all due respect, it's gonna always be Regis. And then it's gonna come to Spence, and then you can go down the road. Well, like I said, I'm a big time Deontay Wilder fan too. Now, don't get it twisted now.
Yeah. Here's what I would say about Regis. Like, obviously, I think this tournament has continued to elevate his profile. He wins the finals, and if they can make the fight between the winner out of Ramirez Hooker, and you get a unified champion at 140, I think that's going to be huge for whoever comes out on top. You know,
they want it, bro.
I think if Regis wins this tournament, I think you got to put him in pound for pound. You know, now where that varies from everybody's list and their criteria, but obviously I think Regis breaks into pound for pound with a win in this tournament. Now, and obviously whoever becomes unified at 140, just as Terrence Crawford did, is the man at 140. And when you look about the next generation or those next set of fighters that are coming up to 147, Regis said he got two more fights at 140, the finals and the winner out of Hooker Ramirez. Maurice Hooker struggled or, barely made weight, I guess, in his last fight. And Ramirez, there's always talk of, potentially him going up to 147 at some point.
Ramirez don't want to fight Regis. I'm going to tell you that straight up. So, EV beats Hooker. There's more potential to see Hooker fight Regis than Ramirez fighting Regis. Straight up. And I think that, and I'm going for Hooker to beat Ramirez.
Finishing. Yeah.
I'm going for Hooker. Yeah, I'm going for Hooker, man. I'm going for Hooker to take that one. And then I want Hooker to stand up to it, and I want him to call Regis out and let him and Regis take care of business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and here's the good thing about Regis. Regis has fought on all the major networks, whether Showtime, DAZN, ESPN. So his team and his promoter, with Lou DiBella and them, they've done a good job in positioning him, and I think that whatever he decides to do after this tournament, it'd be interesting to see. Is he gonna take big money and align himself with the network, or will he kind of be able to hold his I don't know if it's freedom or that flexibility to be able to go from network to network for the big fights?
It's gonna be a hard one, bro.
Yeah.
It'll be a hard one, but like I said, Regis is prepared for this type of stuff, man. Regis, I mean, like I said, you see the likes of Mikey Garcia.
Yeah.
Mentioning his name.
They got another your boy fight coming up too, Richard Comey.
Yeah, I like Comey, bro.
I
like Comey, but Comey is another one. So he's another one, bro. That got to put his foot down, and he need to do something the way these fighters respect him, because the way some of these fighters are talking about him, like everybody think that he's I can get his belt, like
Well, what they talking about doing, right? So, the plan is for Comey to defend his belt.
They're trying to
Teofimo
give everything a
Lopez.
Lomo, bro. You know what they're trying to do.
Look, Teofimo Lopez is fighting in an eliminator, IBF eliminator in July. So if he wins, he becomes the Mando to Comey. Meanwhile, you got Lomachenko going to fight Luke Campbell at some point for the vacant WBC belt. And supposedly, the winner out of those bouts will fight. And obviously, Teofimo Lopez wants to get his hands on Lomachenko. They're talking about maybe early 2020 for that fight, too, first or second quarter. For Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. Teo want all the smoke, man.
Yeah, but is he really ready though? You know what I'm saying? I like that about him though, bro. I like that about him. I ain't gonna lie, man. You can't help but to like the guy. The guy, he wants that competition and he wants to rise to the occasion.
Teofimo Lopez has star written on him. You know, he's charismatic. You know, he gives you the entertainment and the skills of boxing. You know, so and at 135, you know, it's there to be claimed. Obviously, fighting at higher weights, but you think about who's on his heels, who's on Lomachenko heels at 135. You got Teofimo Lopez, you got Devin Haney, and obviously Richard Comey still a champ at 135. You know, and you still got some, you know, good fighters in that weight class.
Yeah.
The thing is, when are we gonna get a unification bout at 130? You know, whether it's Herring fighting maybe Burchett, or and then you got Farmer and you got Tank. You
know, Tank finally called out Foreman today, though, right?
Yeah.
I spoke about that a little while earlier. I spoke about that.
Okay.
Yeah, he finally called him out today. So we're gonna see where that goes. I would love to see that fight, man. That fight is long overdue, man.
It is. It's built up enough, but once again, where does that fight take place? On what network? Is Floyd gonna let Tank fight on the Zone? Is Eddie Hearn gonna let Farmer fight on Fox or Showtime?
Man, it's, like I say, good promoters know how to talk to one another and allow certain things. You know, anything for the bag. This shit ain't for free.
Yeah. Well, you got to look at the trade-off. Look at just top rank right now in Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. So Ramirez is going to the Zone to fight Hooker, and the trade-off, you know, it looks like was the Lomachenko versus Luke Campbell fight, probably going to be broadcast on ESPN. You know, so I don't know, man. Anything can happen. I mean, once again, when you look at Andy Ruiz and his win against Anthony Joshua, now obviously, you know, it sounds like there's a rematch that's got to be worked out, but it's like you get the belts and you bring them home to your network. That changes things and the matchups that can be made. Because how easy would it be able to make a Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz fight versus a Wilder Joshua fight? Hence why we haven't got that fight already.
Yeah, it's kind of sad though, bro. When you sit back and you actually think about it, you know, it's kind of sad that we can't get these fights, man.
Yeah, I had and you know, maybe I try to get the audio out on it, but I did ask you know, on a conference call a few days ago before the Fury fight, talking with Tim Bradley, Andre Ward, and Joe Tessitore, you know, I had asked him about, does talks of Wilder versus Fury 2 bring us any closer to, you know, matchups like Spence versus Crawford? and they seem to think so. Obviously, it takes one of these matchups to happen, and for people to see the the opportunity and the money to be made, for the fighters, to maybe. Obviously, I think the fighters are on board. It's just the economics got to play itself out, and the politics got to play itself out. Before those fights happen.
I mean, once one of those fights is able to be made, yeah, it's pretty much we establish that relationship. Of course, I agree. Once you establish one of them, I think they can move on. So yes, once they make the Tyson, because if they already said that they are in talks for Spence Crawford, and they are definitely in talks for Wilder Fury. So Bob Arum and PBC, there's conversation going on there.
Yeah.
So those fights in 2020 has to happen, or we're gonna have a horrible 2020. It's one of those make it or break it. It can't go past 2020. If it goes past 2020, one of those fighters have been lost by then.
Because I mean, so Spence Porter unify. Pacquiao Thurman will get a clear, undisputed WBA champion. So do we get Spence versus Thurman, or Spence versus Pacquiao, or Porter versus Thurman, or Porter versus Pacquiao? Where we unified 3 belts on the PBC side before we see anybody face Crawford, or do one of those premier welterweights try to go get the belt from Crawford and bring it back on the PBC side and then unify?
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. I just want, like I said, my whole deal is I just want to see these fights happen prior to somebody losing.
Oh, this is Mikey. You pulling up JorgeCota. Who has he fought? I'm not gonna pretend like I look.
Talking about this JorgeCota guy?
Yeah.
That's why I'm pulling him up. I'm sharing the screen for you guys to look at it. This is the guy that's fighting this Sunday versus JermelCharlo.
Let's scroll down. Let's look. Any recognizable names on his resume?
Hold on, let me pull this. Hold on a second. I might have to go to the main page and pull stuff down.
Yeah, subscribe and follow us, BNboxingnews. We on all social media platforms. Appreciate all the support.
All the support, man. Continue to support us, man. We up and coming, up and popping. You see it?
What? You had it up. Now
no, I got. I messed it up again.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
You had it up.
You know how you do something and you just overdo it?
Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah. So, okay. Dude, Erickson Lubinson, bro. Erickson Lubin beat him.
Oh, well, that ought to tell you what you need to know. Did he get knocked out?
Yeah, he got stopped.
What round? Does it show you?
Shit. It should show you that.
You might need to click it. Or yeah, if you go to Lubin, it'll probably show you. And how long? That was 2017.
Yeah, he just got that.
And Charlo, and Charlo, Jermel beat Lubin.
Jermel knocked out Lubin, nearly killed him. That when Lubin was doing the stinky leg. Yeah, JorgeCota.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So
Stop them.
sometimes you can't always go by that though, bro, because styles
No.
make fight, bro.
Style makes fight, and at the end of the day, the show must go on. So they needed an opponent. Cota stepped up. And so, hey, that's what we get. Injuries are part of this, a part of the game, man.
Yeah. I won't make it sound like that.
Yeah,
A lot of these dudes. What you did? You turned your camera on or something?
No, it said you're no longer presenting, so it's back to me being on here.
Huh?
It said you're no longer presenting, so you're no longer sharing your screen. So I've always had the camera on.
I've never seen your face.
Oh, well, I don't know. Block me out. I am the face of BNboxingnews.
Yeah. However you want to put it, brother. Yeah, but we'll go ahead and shut it down, man.
Yep.
I think, like I said, that's pretty cool, man. Just make sure you hit like, you subscribe, and share this to all your friends, man. Let everybody know that we out here.
Appreciate y'all.
Peace.